Arizona state officials have cleared the way for the first execution in years to take place today.
Clarence Dixon is set to die of lethal injection for the murder and rape of Dena Bowden, an ASU student who was killed in 1978. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Emily Pritchard.
And I'm Rachel McNeil. 12 News anchor Scott McDonald is live this morning in Florence, where the execution will take place.
Emily, Rachel, good morning. It's been 40 years since Dena Bowden was murdered. Now here, in a matter of hours, her convicted killer is set to meet the ultimate punishment. If it happens, it'll be the first time in 8 years since anyone's been executed in Arizona. It's an issue that has had passionate pleas, both for and against, but ultimately it's a decision and a ruling meant to bring justice to the victim and her family. January 1978, 21-year-old honor student Dena Bowden had a bright future ahead. The marketing major had a part-time job at a law firm. 1 foot in the real world, she was about to enter upon graduation. She was last seen heading to her East Lemon Street apartment in an area of Tempe popular with ASU students. It was there her boyfriend at the time discovered her body. A belt around her neck. She'd also been raped. Not known to detectives at that time, her killer and a serial rapist lived just 500 feet away.
We had arrested him, but they were not sexual assault. There were nothing that would constitute that he was linked to this crime.
For 25 years, the ASU student's murder was a mystery. Decades of pain and delayed justice on hold for Dena Bowden's mom and her sister.
This was on her birthday, and she received roses from her boyfriend. We lived in Brussels for a time.
Finally, it was DNA evidence that led Tempe cold case detectives to Clarence Dixon. After his name and DNA linked him to Dena's death, the world learned of his violent history. Less than a year after her murder, he was arrested for attacking another woman in the same area. 6 years later, he was convicted of raping an NAU student, sentenced to life in prison. For Dena's family, decades have passed since her death. She'd be 65 years old today, maybe a grandmother, and heading towards retirement.
She had friends all over the world. There's not been a day go by that she hasn't been on our mind.
And the victim's sister set to be a witness at the execution happening here today. Now, there's been really 2 main reasons why the attorneys for Clarence Dixon say this execution should not happen. That includes the mental illness of Clarence Dixon and also the types of lethal drugs and chemicals to be used in the execution. None of the reasons have been that he is innocent. So again, barring any intervention or action from the U.S. Supreme Court, this is set to go forward at 10 a.m. Now, just to give you a sense of where we are, we're in a parking lot right now. The prison is just down the ways there. After the execution happens, there will be a media briefing. There'll be a shuttle that'll take folks from the media down to that briefing. And of course, we'll bring you all the latest developments as they happen. For now, we're live in Florence this morning. Scott McDonald, 12 News.